This album, it came out of my experience of traveling to Baghdad and Israel and Palestine. And the reason I made this trip is that every night on TV in America, we hear generals and politicians talking about the economic cost of war and the political cost of war without ever mentioning the human cost of war. And that's what I wanted to search for. Was I wanted to speak to taxi drivers and teachers and, you know, doctors and just everyday people on the street about their life in these war zones. And so I took my acoustic guitar and a video camera, and I would just walk the streets of Baghdad and play music for people. And as crowds would form, I would then turn the camera on and I'd say, "Tell me about your life." And people would take me into their basements where they hid, where the bombs were falling. Or they'd take me into the hospitals. Or
child is born and a mama's torn about the life that it's bound to live. A sun and moon in a modest home is all they ask in the Lord to give.
These are the types of things that people around the world, but especially in America, have never seen. You know, and so we sit in our chairs in comfortable homes and say, yeah, let's have a war over there, let's have a war in Afghanistan, let's have a war in Haiti, let's have a war. But we never have to feel what it means to be in that war. And that was the purpose of my trip, was to discover that for myself and then to portray that in song and in film.
Don't look ahead of the road that you're on. Don't look for a sign that it's a place that you've already known. And I told you, and I'm not shy to say it again, like the clean up man, I'm always there to the end.
What happened with Hurricane Katrina is suddenly, where are all the helicopters we need? They're in Iraq. Where's all the emergency food we need? It's in Iraq. Where are all the soldiers that we need to help people? They're in Iraq. And we had people literally starving to death in one of the richest nations in the world because our priorities were all messed up. And so people started saying, hey, maybe this war isn't the right way to go. And then veterans have been returning home, you know, with missing limbs and missing a part of their heart because they were told we were going there to fight Saddam because he had weapons of mass destruction and because he was involved with Al-Qaeda in 9/11. They find both of those things are lies, and they're like, why are we here? And it becomes more and more apparent to people that this is not a war against terror, which I think is a really stupid term. You know, it's an oxymoron to say a war against terror. But this is a war about one thing, which is petroleum security.
If I told you what I'd seen, would you believe me or leave me alone? If I told you what I feel.
When I first arrived in Iraq and started walking around, you know, people have never seen dreadlocks before there. So people were very curious. They come up and they want to touch my hair and they want to look at me. And they thought, if they think like, at least must be from Africa, but maybe he's from outer space because you've never seen anybody who looks like him. And then when I tell them I was an American, they were even more surprised because I was carrying an acoustic guitar and the only Americans they've met have been holding an M16 rifle. And they said to me, we know that George Bush does not represent the American people any more than Saddam represented the people of Iraq. But they were also said to me, because I was there before the last election. I was there in June of 2004, before Bush was elected a second time. And they said to me, but if you elect George Bush a second time, then we can't accept this, you know. And so we've elected him a second time, and this is where the anger comes from.
Lifesaver, lifesaver, please don't surrender. No, no, 'cause I'm just holding on to you. I'm just holding on to you.
I really believe that there's some things in the world that are stuck. You know, like the situation between Israel and Palestine. It appears like this is going to happen forever. But I also remember being in East Germany 3 months before the wall came down and talking to people there, and they said, "Oh, the wall will be here forever. We're never nothing's going to change." 3 months later, boom, the wall's down. And I really believe that the situation in Israel and Palestine could be the same, because really it takes just one meeting, people coming together and saying, we're going to create a state for Israel, and a state for Palestine, and live side by side, and get on with the process of learning to become neighbors. And same thing with what's happening with the war in Iraq. It's a thing that it seems like it's going to go forever, and this occupation is going to take forever. But it could be that within a few years, there's a massive change in America, and I already see it happening. And then once the political will is there, then there could be a politician, a president who says, "Enough is enough. Let's cut this." And so that's why I make the music that I do, is in the belief that these changes are going to come.
It's time to go home. 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 And I say, birds fly by in the morning light, leaves fall down on the passerby, phone call buttons and the mama cries, tears stream down from her daddy's eye. Birds fly by in the morning light, don't take our boys away, passerby, phone call, don't take our girls away.